What's up, Tarleton? I'm your host, Cam, and welcome back to another episode of Lit Nation News, live from the Texas News Service studios. 2017 has been a wild year for natural disasters, with hurricanes ravaging the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean, wildfires scorching the state of California, and now we're witnessing yet another catastrophe. A powerful earthquake struck Iraq and Iran late Sunday night, killing 452 people in both countries and injuring thousands as well. This is the deadliest earthquake of the year, surpassing the one in central Mexico that claimed over 200 lives back in September. This quake was set at a distance of 14 miles, and the aftershock was sent throughout the Middle East region, being felt in Pakistan, Kuwait, Lebanon, and Turkey, according to the news sources of these countries. To help those in need in the dire time right now, get involved and donate to ifrc.org. I'm Cam, and this is Lit Nation News.
Yo, what's up, Tarleton? I'm Sabrina, and you're tuned in to Lit Nation News. Another week goes by, and there's yet another accusation of sexual assault of a public figure. The spotlight is pointing at Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore, who is currently running in the December 12th special election. Beverly Young Nelson is the fifth woman to make such accusations against a politician, saying that she was assaulted when she was 16 and was told by Mr. Moore that no one would believe you. Moore has strongly denied these accusations, but there is a large majority in the Republican Senate that wants to oust the former state Supreme Court judge, openly discussing to either expel him or not seat him if he wins the upcoming special election. Let us know what you think of the situation in the comment section below. I'm Sabrina, and this is Lit Nation News.
What's good, TSU? I'm Cedric, and you're watching Lit Nation News. After strongly expressing his feelings about his custody battle via Instagram, Tyrese appears to be representing himself in court now that his lawyer has filed for a substitution of attorney. The famed singer and actor has also claimed that his bizarre behavior stemmed from the use of antidepressant medication and that it is completely out of his system. Tyrese's ex-wife, Norma Gibson, is seeking a permanent restraining order and has stated that Tyrese has abused their 10-year-old daughter. Those allegations have been dismissed, but Gibson has been accused of skipping court-approved visits with his daughter. We'll see how this plays out. Give us your opinion on this topic. I'm Cedric, and you're watching Lit Nation News.
What's up, Texans? I'm Cash, and you're watching Lit Nation News. In the basketball world, the Ball family seems to always be a constant topic, but now the Big Baller brand made headlines for the wrong reasons. LiAngelo Ball and two other UCLA basketball players were arrested in China after being accused of shoplifting, 3 days before the Bruins were set to play Georgia Tech in the exhibition game. The UCLA teammates are claimed to have stolen Louis Vuitton glasses from a store near their hotel, and the incident reportedly on video surveillance. Though it may seem as another simple mistake made by college students, the three could face up to 10 years in prison for grand larceny and has been placed on house arrest in China until authorities further assess the case. LeVar Ball been surprisingly quiet and is quoted saying it ain't that big a deal. The arrest made such big of a headline that President Trump has asked the Chinese leader to release the players. They were released this morning on November 14th. Give us your thoughts in the comments below. I'm Cash, and this is Lit Nation News.
What's up, TSU? I'm your host, Cam, alongside with Destiny and Cedric. And now we're going to discuss all the recent sexual assault allegations, and we're going to give our opinions if we should really believe what's going on or if these are just scams by women. So, over the past recent years, hey, that's true. Over the past recent years, really since the start of Bill Cosby's sexual allegations, there's been a lot of celebrities and politicians alike that have these allegations out against them. So, I don't know, let me pick one. Kevin Spacey, do you believe any famous person in hot water right now?
I guess we can touch on Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey, low-key, like it's a different kind of feel for this one because it's like a homosexual, like talking like, hey, this happened a while ago, and instead of like bringing it in, he's like, hey, I'm gay. It was like, hey, you touched me. Like, yeah, I'm gay. But like that doesn't, like, it doesn't work. As far as hot water goes, like he's in some really deep hot water, man, because he's kind of like swept it under the rug and was like, hey, this is how I am. Instead of like actually addressing it, you know, like even if you don't recall like it happening, like you should still like, hey, man.
He definitely should.
You know,
But
like,
Ask
it's-
courtesy to the other person, maybe apologize.
Because he
Oh, that's canceled, man. That's gone.
it's canceled, bro. I'm so upset because House of Cards is my jam.
That's another thing. Everything's getting canceled because, you know what I mean? What are we going to watch if everybody keeps coming out with these allegations and they're canceling things because they feel bad for these women, or, you know, people don't want to watch it no more? It's just like,
Yeah, I feel like everybody is suffering in this. Like I was saying,
Yeah.
like you had those who the allegations are, they could be true, and you have the ones who are just there for scams.
Yeah.
But either way, like everybody's getting hurt in that. Like I was saying, like if you have somebody who's actually been sexually assaulted and they're trying to come out, but then you have like all these other women who are just saying it just to say it, like I'm trying to be famous, like the chick with Usher and the herpes.
the big girl.
Yeah, like the chick with Usher and the herpes, like nobody believed that ever could happen. But she pretty much just slandered his name. Like,
And she
that's what-
contradicted herself. She was like, well, we used the condom. I'm like, girl, so you don't have it? And she was like, she said just because he didn't tell her before, which he should have, but you don't have it. So why are you speaking on it?
Hold
Yeah.
on. So he actually did have intercourse with that woman?
Yes, he
Oh,
liked
wow.
the big girls.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's
He
nothing
likes
wrong
the
with
big
that,
girls.
but-
Nobody believed it. Everybody, as soon as she came out, it was like Usher with her. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's that pedestal.
He don't have no
that's-
preference.
put on, man.
Mm.
That's that pedestal, man. Now, nobody's safe, man. Like people who are just up and coming, they not safe because they have to be really careful. Like like if you say one wrong thing, like that could be considered a sexual harassment. If a teacher like puts their hands on both sides of your desk and leans in, even if they're just like having a regular conversation, you can consider that sexual harassment.
That's crazy.
Like by the book, that is sexual harassment. So like there's a lot of factors that play into this. Like so you gotta really be careful with this because you're hurting not only the people who are actually suffering from this, but you're hurting the people who like know this is wrong but still have to deal with this because people are trying to like get into my pockets because of what I have and because of what like maybe I'm not showing the same love that you have for me. Like yeah, I appreciate you, you're my fan. Like thank you. Without you, I probably wouldn't be here. But come on, like let me live. Don't just like, oh yeah, I saw him at a club and he was touching up on me. Meanwhile, he just on the stage performing and you way in the back. But you just want to get close to him.
Or maybe he was touching up on you, but you know what I mean? You started that. You know what I mean? If you're famous, women are just gonna be all over you, flocking you, but you know what I mean? That's what you wanted. So then don't come out later and then he's like, you know what? What you mean? Like you was texting me, you were all over me.
That brings me back to Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Like all these women, all these allegations. When Bill Cosby was, in his prime, I'm not saying that it's right, but Quaaludes were legal.
Yeah.
They were not illegal. Everybody knew Bill Cosby had a wife. Like he said that numerous times, like in his stand-ups, in his TV
That was
shows,
exactly,
in his interviews. Like
Yeah.
me and my wife, she's cooking it up and she's mixing. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he gets into this thing, but yet you still go with this married man into this room. Or like y'all do what y'all do. Like you know what's about to happen. Like you're in a club, y'all partying, y'all doing all this stuff that was legal back then, and then like all of a sudden 30 years later, like he's trying to progress and be Bill Cosby, and all of a sudden you're like at his door, like I want to check because what we did back there, I'm not proud of what I did.
But I feel like because he wanted to buy NBC, the big network really start throwing that out there because I think he previously tried to do that in the late 90s, I believe, and then all of a sudden he had a illegitimate daughter he didn't take care of. So that, I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but hey, man.
No, but that's
like it really could be like that falls into the whole like.
That's personal though.
Progressing stuff.
Him buying the NBC has nothing. That's his professional career. You know what I mean? Your family stuff. I understand that. You know what I mean? That's wrong. And people feel strongly because they have kids and they blah blah blah. They love their kids and they would never neglect them. But that's his personal business. That has nothing to do with him buying and making the network better. You know what I mean? That has nothing to do with it. People they just may not like him, so they're finding reasons to just like throw him under the bus, reasons why he shouldn't buy it. And that's what I feel like that's what these women are doing too. I'm not saying it's not true, but it's just like,
if you win it, you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Like Steven Seagal, I was so like.
What?
Yes.
Next step is Steven Seagal?
You didn't know? Oh my goodness, dude. I was so in shock that Steven Seagal had a sexual assault allegation, dude. Like this lady was saying that like, all right, her last like audition or interview with Steven Seagal, like they went to this office and then like he like unzipped his pants and was pretty much saying like, you know, how bad you want this part type.
Oh, I heard that.
Like, she left and she called her manager, and then apparently like her manager was like, "Oh, I thought he was your type."
Wow.
So like you got like these managers and like all these people like Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure all his assistants knew what was going on, but they like, "Hey, I'm getting a check, so let's let him do it what he needs to do."
Yeah.
So like all this is just like a big like melting pot of like opportunities and like downfalls. Like nobody comes out winning in this like topic. Nobody does.
The women are exposed. You know, the men suffer like career-wise, family-wise, and then we suffer from not watching TV.
Oh, we're really worried about these shows, man.
I'm trying to watch my shows, but then like on the flip side of that, like how many men actually go through sexual assault, and because we're men, we can't say what we.
Terry Crews said it.
Yeah,
he was one of the first to actually come out.
Like Terry Crews is huge. Like,
Yeah.
you look at him, you're like, you let that happen, but you know, it goes both ways. Like this whole like topic of sexual assault is like really like tedious. It's very scary. It's like it's a scary subject to touch on. Like even if you're a man who's been through that, you feel demasculated. I'm sorry. You feel like you don't feel like a man no more. I couldn't come with that word. But you don't feel like a man anymore. Like so like you feel like the need to hide that and like, you know, like I'm a man.
Very down.
I don't cry, but like that's why you got all these like suicides and stuff because people don't know how to deal with that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's wild. That just like puzzles me.
So, what percentage of accusations do you actually believe? Like, which cases do you really believe?
I mean, I believe, I don't know how to say this. It's like I believe it. I believe some of the things they're saying, but I feel like there's always a twist. Like they're twisting, they're making it more dramatic or more, you know, than what it actually is. No, I feel like nobody's actually just saying what happened. Like, you know what I mean? And most of the women, although they may have went in the room and pulled down their pants, stuff like that, I'm sure she wasn't just sitting there like, you know, like she was, you know what I mean? I'm sure she's like, well, I need a check, I need this part. Yeah. I mean, but now since it's hot, you know, it's hot water and everybody's this and that, it's just like, well, he did this and he, you know what I mean? Making it just the most dramatic it can be. And I'm sure Bill Cosby is just sitting there like, he hasn't said much on it. I haven't heard much on it.
That was iconic.
He's saying, hey, let's keep it moving. Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it didn't happen or not, like it didn't happen, I feel like you just move on, you know what I'm saying?
But one person who actually did fess up to what they did was Louis C.K. Did you see that one?
Oh, no, but I didn't hear about that, though.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that he was, like, extra, like, yeah, man. Like, that's Louis C.K. He's just like, yeah, man, you know, it happened.
It's better to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if he confessed, then others who really did it will confess. But since they haven't, I'm just assuming that, you know what I mean? If they're really like willing to go to court and fight over it, maybe it's really not, you know what I mean? Everything's not as true as the women are saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that.
So, I mean, I think they should fight. I think everybody should be more careful now. I'm sure everybody will be more careful now.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Signing contracts. Contracts is for the
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, no, it's like seriously, like
Bow spoke on it in the interview.
contracts is about to come back because like it's like especially like celebrities, like higher power, man, like people who people look up to. I know I always say that like, when you're a celebrity, like on this pedestal, people look up to you. So like one slip up, and like your career can go down the drain just like that. Like you can shake a fan's hand and kiss him on the cheek, and 3 weeks later you in court for sexual assault. I'm just like, and you probably like, dang, how did I get here?
Michael Jackson.
You really gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful.
y'all know the concerts like Chris Brown and Usher, you know how when they bring the fan on stage and they do all that grinding and basically having sex on the stage is how I see it. I'm sure that's how he met most of those women.
Probably.
You know what I mean? They screaming and waving their hands to get on stage and then you get herpes and it's just like, well, what did you ask for?
That's a big jump.
I'm just saying.
Because
Like,
I mean, like imagine if a man, like, cause Janet Jackson, you know, she did the same thing on her stage. kid. Imagine if a man's like, oh yeah, Janet Jackson sexually assaulted me. People gonna look at him like,
boy, you wanted that. But that's how I look at the women. Like, you jump, like, you know what I mean? You jump for the chance to get close to him and, you know, all this other stuff. And then you get herpes. You're like, oh, I'm finna take this to the bank. But, you know, and honestly, you signed up for that. You signed up for what you got. It's Usher. All the show, you know what I mean? And Chris Brown, Chris Brown hasn't had no, accusations, but you know what I'm saying? You want to be on stage, you go to the concert, you pay all this money, you get up there, it's just like, what did you, like, as many shows as he has, as many girls as he brings up on stage, you don't think he's carrying an STD?
I didn't think about it like that. That's a good point, though.
I'm sure every show, you know what I mean? I've heard where he brings, you know, backstage, they come to the bus, you know? What do you think he's doing, having tea?
That's like every tour, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's just a musician.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't understand why drag him for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just put the poor man's business out there. Let him have this in peace. Get clean.
He should have told her. I mean,
He probably didn't know, honestly.
that's true, because a lot of people who have herpes
Don't know, or a lot of people with STDs, period, just don't know. And if he's on tour, I'm sure he's not just getting checked. Like, yeah.
Definitely annually, bro. That's like a thing. But yeah, that's.
Or condoms. That's also a thing.
Yeah, but I would like to lastly add, there are actual people who getting away with this type of stuff though, like people like R. Kelly or L.A. Reid.
He didn't get away with. R. Kelly ain't got away with nothing.
He's
We
still a
know.
free man.
He's a free man, but we know.
we all knew. But like, I mean, that's really, it's like two sides to every story. That's the truth. Nobody's gonna know the truth because we weren't there. So it's really, we are listening to like he say, she say. So like that puts us in the unknown, which makes people go crazy because they don't know.
They start coming up with fake stuff.
You could, but then again, you're probably just after his money. So like either way, like whichever side of the fence you're on, you're gonna hurt somebody. Sometimes you're right, and sometimes you're wrong. It just goes that way. I don't really know how we will get to like solving that problem of is this true or not. That's just something we haven't came across yet.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know. I guess the moral of the story is wrap up and stop playing with these girls.
If you take out the money, like if they got no money from telling the truth, I bet you everybody be like, You know what I'm saying? If you take out the money, yeah, we will hear some truth that there was no money involved. Be like, okay, he did this to you. Okay, we'll punish him, but you won't get a check from it. I'm sure they'd be like, oh, well, I don't care what happens to him. I just want my money.
True, right?
So,
just pay me out.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Man, that is wild. But we gotta end the segment here. I'm your host Cam, alongside with Destiny and Cedric, and thank you for watching Lit Nation News.